Netflix has been spitting out movies like absolute wildfire, so here's a couple that I watched in the past couple of days. These two movies have just come out in 2026, and I feel like they're not as mainstream as like a cinema release would be, but Netflix is a pretty big platform, and I know this first one is actually getting some attention. So the first one of these movies that I think has been getting a bit of attention actually is called People We Meet on Vacation. People We Meet on Vacation is directed by Brett Haley and adapted from a book. The movie is about this girl named Poppy and her relationship with her best friend Alex. So Poppy is a free spirit and Alex loves a plan, so they're very different in character. After years of summer vacations, these polar opposite pals wonder if they could be a perfect romantic match. This romantic comedy is filled with wacky character relationships and dynamics, and it's pretty much about summer vacations everywhere around the world. Here's what I took out of this movie. Now, to start off with, straight away, this was not at all what I was expecting. I've never read the book, so I'm unable to tell you whether this is a faithful adaptation, but what I was expecting was like, you know, meeting the love of your life on a vacation, and then it's like, well, I'm only here for a few days. But yeah, as the movie went on, I sort of got sucked into it and I was like, this isn't anything like I was expecting, but I kind of enjoyed it. I thought it was nicely stylized at times, especially with things like the 9th summer vacation, 8th summer vacation, giving you that rundown of what happened and when it happened. The structure wasn't distracting either, even though it was presented in an unusual way. There were some pretty good comedic beats at times, although most of the movie is cliche and it's like normal rom-com sort of stuff. There were some comedic elements to it that actually made me laugh. Some jokes made me laugh, which was surprising. I thought the characters were well written and each of them had a motivation. I think the dynamic between the main characters works so well because they are polar opposites, and it's a classic love story of opposites attract, making them completely different people and showing it through previous summer vacations leading up to a vacation that's happening, like leading up to what we know is inevitably going to happen, is a great idea because it's easy to invest into something like that. It's just easy to follow along. And it makes for a pretty fun time, I think, anyway. I'm not saying this in like a David Fincher kind of way. I'm just saying that it's not completely bland. The characters actually have some sort of depth, which is great for, you know, Netflix slop, especially when it comes to rom-coms. Speaking of Netflix slop, it does still have the elements there. This is probably the grossest looking film I've ever laid my eyes upon. The lighting is so bad. Everything is so damn vibrant and oversaturated. Everything is lit to a T. It's so like hyper realistic. It doesn't even look like a movie. It looks like a video game cutscene. It's odd. But yeah, all in all, quick little review there. I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I would, which is crazy. Still not a great movie by any means, but I'd say it's worth a watch at least, especially if you like rom-coms. Once again, I'm probably not the target demographic for this, but hey, I enjoyed it anyway, and I would give it a 6 out of 10. Next up, last up, I watched The Rip, starring Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Now, this is obviously making a noise around the film, you know, film bros, whatever, because it's Affleck and Damon reuniting once again. However, this movie is a movie. The Rip is directed by Joe Carnahan, and it is about trust phrase when a team of Miami cops discovers millions in cash inside a rundown stash house, calling everyone and everything into question. This team of cops get a call that there is money in this house. When they go to the house, there is more money than what they were tipped off for. There's a huge amount of money, and they basically lock down the house. And it sounds good. Count the money, count it again, count on no one. But yeah, right off the bat, we had a great cast. We got Ben Affleck, of course, and Matt Damon, of course, returning. But we also had actresses like Teyana Taylor. Glad to see Sasha Calle getting work because she was absolutely wasted in The Flash. Kyle Chandler, those guys, all great. Love to see it. Steven Yeun as well. I think this film is good at keeping you guessing at what's going to happen next or who is potentially guilty and what they're planning. And I thought the twist at the end was pretty good. And now, of course, let's get into negatives. First of all, this isn't really a true story, you know, in the same way where The Conjuring isn't. It's based on like a small thing that actually happened, and then it just adds so much. Once again, it looks bad. The cinematography's bland and the lighting's awful. It looks so Netflix slop generic. I don't know, like, are people signing a contract to make their movies look bad when they go with Netflix? Most of the characters were irrelevant and I didn't really care about them. The script, oh my god, it was bad. I sort of felt throughout that things were only happening to move the plot along. And the score, the music, it was overbearing and dumb. If you have nothing else to watch, it's on Netflix. Chuck it on a Sunday afternoon and you'll be sweet. And I would give The Rip a 5 out of 10. I'm disappointed. Let me know if you enjoyed them, I guess. And besides that, thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye.